Here's a graphic, Brou, of the worst records in December and January to make the playoffs in the last 20 years. To the left there is the Eagles right now, and then it's the Dolphins who lost in the wild card round. So, is there any reason, Nick?
Yeah.
To believe the Eagles can turn this around?
No, of course
Greg
not.
Jennings is here,
This
everyone.
is, hi, Greg, but we're going to need a moment here. This is the worst case scenario for Philly.
The Super Bowl
They know, but Greg, hold on, Greg.
Did he not?
No,
He
but
jumped off a week ago.
Yeah, well, a couple weeks ago, which is such a shame you didn't, and we'll get to that in a moment. This is the worst scenario for Philly. Could have listened to me and been like, Dallas ain't losing to Washington. Rest your guys, try to get things right. Instead, they played all their guys, got a couple guys hurt, got beat 24-0 in the first half before they took starters out, and now they're in a situation where they might have a quarterback problem, if we're being honest. They definitely have a coach problem. And the defense, it's not even, is it a problem if your car's on fire? Do you have a car problem? Or is your car just on fire? They have the worst defense of any team that's going to make the playoffs, which is why this is such a shame. Brou had so many opportunities, so many chances to abandon the Eagles. And as we all know, first things first, bylaws. While it is shameful to abandon a preseason pick, you are at least allowed to do it until the playoff field has been set, assuming you were given ample opportunities. So let's go ahead and check and see if Brou was given ample opportunities to come off the Eagles. Roll the tape, please.
Yes. Yes.
No, you
and
don't.
I'm saying it with my chest.
Not true.
I didn't even mean for that to rhyme, but yes. I haven't brought this out in a while, but these are 10 toes, baby. I am 10 toes down.
Brou, you lost all your
Mark
toes.
this, 10 toes down on the Philadelphia Eagles. I am sticking with the Philadelphia Eagles. Shake your heads.
Why?
Raise your eyebrows. I'm glad I didn't switch my pick. I'm 10 toes.
Yeah, 10 toes down.
10 toes.
So, Brou, you had your opportunities. You lost them. I'm curious to hear how you believe the Eagles can turn it around.
You left a few videos out.
What do you mean? Oh, when you abandoned them to win the Super Bowl?
A few weeks ago, 2 weeks down, 2 weeks ago, I said I'm 2 toes down. Dusty the wheel.
No.
How many toes down am I? I went from 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm here.
Go ahead. Oh, this is the worst thing we do.
The idea that it's randomized, but it's a tape. Okay, Dusty.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Stupid.
I'm out.
It's so
You're
out. You're out. Not allowed. Not allowed.
I love it.
I wrote the bylaws.
Done.
I wasn't even on the show. I was a guest, but I wrote the bylaws.
it.
You don't get a pick then.
Yeah.
You
That's
just don't
fine.
get an
I don't even want to pick. I don't even want to pick.
No, you need a pick.
I'm putting on the analyst hat.
No,
I can't have a pick. I can't have a pick because, and I really,
no pick.
no,
the Super Bowl.
I put on the analyst hat.
Thank you.
Obviously, the best team right now in the NFC is
Dallas.
the Niners.
Okay, well,
All
we'll
right?
see.
I told you this 2
But I'm
months
the
ago.
analyst. I'm just going to watch.
You believe
You got Dallas. Stick with your Cowboys. We'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm putting on the analyst cap. I would look like a fool to be up here saying that the Eagles got a chance.
That's what we've been telling you.
Now, I'm going to be honest. The past several weeks, I felt there was a chance. I was like, man, if they just get there. But what I saw yesterday, you lost to Tommy DeVito, with all due respect to my New Jersey homeboy, and Tyrod Taylor with a bad thumb.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even close. I don't know what's going on, but I'll say this. They look like a team yesterday that's dispirited and that doesn't believe in the coach. Yeah. And when A.J. Brown has to call a meeting, players only, and say, let's believe in the coaches, that tells you something's going on there. So I have to be an analyst. I really did think they would bring it together. But now look, I'm gonna say this, because the pick was Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I am not convinced that they won't beat Tampa Bay. And right now, hold on. Right now, I am leaning toward them beating Tampa Bay, but they will lose in the second
nobody
round.
cares about your Eagles opinions anymore. You're out on the
They
Eagles
won't get
the rest of
past
the year.
that.
You're out on them. Go ahead, Greg.
say I'm proud of you.
Proud?
Thank you, my man. He's handling it. He did it 7 days ago. He can't jump
2 weeks
bad
ago.
on me.
I wasn't here a week
I
ago.
actually did it almost
10
a month
days?
ago.
Thank you.
Almost
A month.
Yeah.
You put me on my own butt list. That was like 2 butt lists ago.
Yeah, that was when I officially made it.
2 butt
jump
ago.
off.
Oh, in your mind, you jumped
I had talked about it. But no, they can't turn it around. Like, look, this is what we have to understand is there's a mentality that you have to have going into the postseason. I remember having it like the year we won the Super Bowl. There was a vibrato, there was an excitement, there was this feeling that we had going into the postseason that we knew we were going to be a problem for any opposing team. It worked out. We ended up winning Super Bowl. The following year, we go 15-1. We lost our only game to your Chiefs. And going into the postseason, we didn't have that same feel. It was across the board. And I remember sitting down with Charles Wilson and asking him, it feels different than last year, right? And he said yes. Everybody felt it wasn't that we doubted who we were. We just knew it felt a little different. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. We have all wanted to see, can they get back to who they were last year? This is not the same team. Yeah. It's not who they've been for 18 weeks. And you finally removed all toes.
Look, I gave it a good yeoman's effort.
What?
I can't.
You
back
guys
them.
are applauding
I cannot
him.
back them.
He got there.
He's so
I
stubborn.
cannot back them.
Brou, what grade are you giving the Cowboys?
Well, look, it was a tomato can.
Yeah, of course.
There's no doubt about that, Washington. But it was a divisional game, and it was on the road where the Cowboys have darn near been tomato cans. So, look, Dak was great. Early on, it was interesting. The interception wasn't really that much on him, but still, it was like, oh, wow, is this going to be a game? And then they recovered. He and CD continued their great combination. One thing I liked, Tony Pollard ran with some force. Right? He ran like Isaiah Pacheco yesterday. And it was his best rushing game in 6 weeks. All right, so overall, bottom line is they look great. I am a tough yet fair and objective grader.
Wow.
So there's only one grade to give the Cowboys. Congratulations.
Solid.
You are heading into the playoffs on an A game. So that's a good look for the Cowboys.
Again, I think they played an A game, but for me, it's no more about it's not about the grades anymore. This regular season has been all full of homework, and we all know we've all had this teacher where they're like, the tests are cumulatively worth about 30%. The homework is about 20%, and the final exam is worth 50% of your grade. And you're like, what?
That's a good, yeah. That's
For the
exactly
Cowboys, this is they're in the testing season. Like, the grades, the homework is all done. Everybody understands they're a good regular season team. Now, this is when it all counts. I thought yesterday they checked every box. They kind of had a little grudge match. It was kind of a grinder to start. That feels good when you want to actually be in a match where you know you're going to get some competition. But then the better team actually looked more superior as the game progressed, and I loved it.
Just 2 quick points. One, I guess one's a question, one's a point. First one is a question to you two. You guys feel a little foolish for the last week? All the time we could have spent about should Philly be on upset alert, we spent, despite my objections, talking this nonsense about whether or not the Cowboys were going to lose to Washington. And you guys both tried to sell me. You both tried to sell me a bill of goods about how it was dangerous. Listen, I don't want to pile on. I just say it feels like when the Cowboys, this is kind of the beats of how we do the Cowboys during the regular season when they're not playing a great team. We spend a ton of time previewing the game, talking about how can they lose, and then they dominate them, and we spend 4 minutes on Monday talking about it, and then we move on to talking about how they can then lose their next game.
That's true.
So that is kind of what happens. It seems a little unfair. Here's the point I wanted to make and show it to you real quick. Does CeeDee Lamb have a case that this year he was the best receiver in football?
Yes, 100%.
So can we show it? Listen, this is CeeDee versus Tyreek. Now, the answer there is statistically Tyreek has him, nipped in everything but catches. But it's very close. And given the fact that I think CeeDee has been at his best in their best wins, including the game against Detroit, that he was the best player on the field, which is
Saved
why
the
they're
game.
the 2 instead of the 3. I think at the very least, CD should have locked up a first-team All-Pro spot, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
damn near
I
hard,
think
which
he'll
is
do
hard
that.
to get, and he has a real case. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.